Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
What makes two people stay deeply connected long after the honeymoon ends? This guy whose first name I cannot pronounce, well, I'll just call him McLaughlin, says a successful marriage requires falling in love many times over and over again with the same person. Studies show that the emotional connection, not conflict resolution, is the key to the long-term satisfaction in a marriage. So, what truly holds a couple together? Stay with us as we answer the question, what truly holds a couple together?
Hello, welcome to another episode of Marriage Hacks with Joseph
and Miriam,
with real talk,
real solutions
for a healthy, thriving marriage.
Quality time. Quality time is the heartbeat of a thriving marriage. In the busyness of everyday life, careers, kids, and countless responsibilities, with these things, it's easy for a couple to become roommates rather than partners. Setting aside intentional time to connect, laugh, talk, or simply just be together helps maintain the emotional intimacy and deepens the bond between spouses. Whether it's a quiet dinner, a walk in the park, or just unplugging from devices to have a real conversation. These moments are present with love, communication, value, and priority. Without quality time, even the strongest relationships can grow distant. But through spending that quality time together, marriages are renewed, strengthened, and kept alive with affection and understanding. Now, this topic of quality time spent together was suggested by Melissa Neal, a church member of ours at Central Triad Church, who sent me a video and said, good topic for a discussion. So I shared it with Joe and he came up with this episode. So thank you, Melissa. And from what Joe has told me, after we do the scriptures, he's actually going to play the video that she sent.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have 5 video clips in all. The one that Melissa sent us, that's actually going to be our first video clip. But as we always do, we're going to start off with our scriptures. The first scripture is Matthew 14:23. This is the King James Version. And let me pull it up. And it says, after he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone. Now, one thing that I do want to mention, we're going to talk about the importance of bonding and connecting with your spouse. But Miriam and I both agreed that even though that is very vital to a marital relationship, that it's also important for us to have some alone time. And because we all need to recharge, to refuel. You never want to try to connect with your spouse on an empty cup. You know how they talk about
filling your cup up so that you can help other people.
Yeah, so that you can minister out of your overflow.
Yeah.
There's no way that you're going to be able to minister out of your overflow to your spouse if you're empty. So you need that time to be alone, to be with God, to recharge.
Or just to be by yourself, to think, to have, your thoughts.
Yes, that's very vital, okay? Because otherwise, if you are severely fatigued, that opens the door for you to snap at your spouse and just for it to be a very unpleasant experience.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And so the next scripture, let me pull it up. Okay, so this is Ecclesiastes 4:9. Okay, let me pull it up. Okay, and it says, "Let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exalting one another, and so much more, the more, as ye see the day approaching."
Okay, baby, that was Hebrews.
I'm sorry, Hebrew.
Hebrews 10:24 through 25.
Okay, I'm sorry.
here.
I skipped. I was looking at the wrong scripture. Yeah, that was Hebrews 10:24 and 25. Okay, so it is. I'm sorry. Let me pull my screen back up. Okay, so it is very important that we do have that time, like this scripture says, considering one another, provoking one another to good works, because us spending that time together, that provides that opportunity. What do you think, Miriam, about this scripture?
Pretty much what you said.
Okay, all right. So hopefully I get it right this next time. Let's go to this next scripture. Okay. Now this is Galatians 6:2. The King James, and it says, "Bear one another's burdens, and thereby fulfill the law of Christ." Okay. Miriam, you have anything to say about that scripture?
Well, bearing one another's burdens, that is taking care of each other, loving each other, being there for each other. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah. So you have to be concerned about what's going on with each other. You need to ask a question. Hey, are you okay? What's going on today? Do you have any concerns? Miriam, she'll let me know. Say, hey, we got this going on, that going on. And then I do my best to make whatever adjustments necessary to ease whatever burden that she may have, and I know she does the same thing for me. Okay, so the last scripture.
Now that one's is Ecclesiastes.
Okay, Ecclesiastes. I don't know how I jumped all the way down. Okay, so this is Ecclesiastes, and I'm going to read from the computer screen because this is too small for me to see from where my vantage point. But it says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up." So, Miriam, what you think about this scripture? Two are better than one.
Well, that's why God put us together. That's why we're supposed to have a partner to help us through life. Where I'm weak, you're strong, and when you're strong, I'm stronger.
Okay, she's stronger. All right.
No, we've got to be there to help each other out.
That's right.
Like what we talked about back in January when you wound up in the emergency room and I basically got sick taking care of you. And then you were still not feeling well and you had to turn around and take care of me.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's what that talks. For me, that's what that talks about.
Okay, so now we're getting ready to get into our clips. And like I said, this first one is the one that Melissa Neal, our friend Melissa Neal, sent us and gave us the idea for this episode. Okay, so this is the first clip.
It took a few years into my marriage for me to realize that just because I was in the house didn't mean that I was home. Let me cook for a second. It took me a few years into my marriage to realize just because I'm in the house, that doesn't mean I'm home. See, I thought that my wife was complaining. I thought that she was nagging because I would be in the house. I would be downstairs in my man cave and I'm watching the game and I'm on social media and I'm laughing with my friends and I'm on the phone. And just because I'm in the house, I had the false belief that she should be content because, hey, I'm here. I'm not out. I could be in the streets. I mean, I am in this house, but my wife wanted me to be in the home. My wife wanted me to be involved in the home. My wife wanted to be in my skin. She wanted me in the bed. She wanted the phone off and the TV off. And maybe she just needed some time to just look at me. And even if she didn't have anything to say, I didn't even leave her the opportunity to say something because my attention was in 7 different directions. And by the time that I finally got into bed, all I wanted to do was go to sleep. Just because you're in the house, it does not mean that you're home. And that's how these women end up feeling like they're in a relationship but single at the same time. Get your tickets to come see me live in Houston, June 7th.
All right, Miriam, what do you think about this video?
Oh, I can definitely understand that. I know there are times, many times, that we have talked about the fact that when you come home, if I'm awake, that I don't get upset if you don't come upstairs right away, because I know that you're decompressing in your music studio and spending time alone. And I do that also. I think everybody, it's like going back to the scriptures, you got to have that time by yourself. But if it gets to the point where you both are home, you've decompressed, you've had that time, and he just insists on just being by himself the entire time, that's an issue. Now, I'm guilty of that. And that's something that I'm more than willing to admit, because I get up so early in the morning to do my training and do my clients' training. Sometimes I'll sit in the chair in my studio and I'll go to sleep. And I will sleep and sleep and sleep. And then I'll have to say to myself, crap, Joe's home. I got to get up. I got to go pay him some attention. It's easy to get lost in your own thoughts. It's easy to just spend time by yourself. Now, situation we had yesterday, Joe was really tired after getting back to work after doing a crusade for over a week. And yesterday, he was just laying in the bed. And I needed to go downstairs to my studio and finish up the second part of my walking program that I do. But I was like, nope, I'm just going to lay here in the bed beside him. Whether we talked, looked at TV, wound up watching Pop the Balloon together. But whatever we wind up doing, I'm here. And I knew that was something in my spirit that I needed to do, just being there.
Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes it's very important for me to just, have some sense of connection. Now, what I entitled this episode is Emotional Disconnect. You know, you never want your relationship to feel disconnected. And
that's easy to happen.
Yeah. And, that's why sometimes I'll say, hey, Miriam, just come upstairs and come on, let's watch a movie. You know, anything. And I'm like, come on, let's watch a movie. Let's do this. Let's do that. You know, just for us to have some quality time together and not just feel like we're roommates, like a few of these clips are gonna speak on. You know, I don't want to feel like, hey, this is not my wife, this is my roommate. You know, I want to feel connected. I want to feel like the description says that Miriam read. You know, that you fall in love all over again. It's like you continually fall in love. You know, with your spouse. Okay, so let's go to the next clip.
You want to know the truth? If you're going to have a long-term relationship with somebody, this is something people don't talk about ever, but I'll say it. You better stay attracted to them. You better have physical intimacy with them. And if you don't maintain that part of your relationship, like you keep dating, like, man, you start keeping it spicy all the time, physically, I'm talking about. What starts to happen over time is you start living with just your friend. And in most relationships, I have a lot of friends. I don't want to lay next to them every single day. Yeah. Right? I got a bunch of really good friends that are male and female, and I don't want to be married to them. And if you allow your spouse to turn into just your friend, that you lose that intimacy, that physical connection. And so I think that's one part of your evaluation. How often do you touch each other? Do you hold each other's hands? At different stages of your relationship, physical intimacy can look different ways. I doubt at 80 years old we're going to be doing what we do now, but I'm going to be dancing with her in the living room, I hope.
What you think about that one, Miriam?
I agree with that. I can't help but think about the times in our marriage when the kids were little, or this was going on, that was happening. I've said before that I think that marriages go through phases of just surviving, where you're in survival mode. This has to be done, that has to be done, and a lot of connecting does not happen during that time. And you have to really work on it. One thing that I can honestly say about Joe, the guy was talking about being physically attractive. After being pregnant 5 times and having 4 children, giving birth to 4 children, my weight has been up and down. Now, over the last several years, it's been down, but he never criticized me about that. And even with the transformation that I'm currently going through, where I got some blood work and I didn't like the results of the blood work, so I made some changes. And in making those changes, I've dropped a significant amount of weight. But that was my issue. It was not Joe's issue. So I think it's important that your spouse loves you at every stage of life, because when you're in that baby making mode, your weight's going to go up and down, and that's something that a man cannot relate to. He can't relate to his body going through those stages. But I can honestly say Joe never criticized me. I never felt like, if I don't get this weight off, he's going to leave me. Never felt that way.
And you guys know that I'm big on physical touch, and it was funny this week. Miriam came over to the hospital where I work.
God, that was so funny.
where I work, and she.
This was Tuesday.
Yeah, to visit our grandson. That he's about a little over a month old.
No, he'll be 4 weeks tomorrow.
Okay.
He'll be a month old on Monday.
Okay, so he's almost a month old. So she came to visit our grandson, Jeremiah, and so. I was walking her back to
and
the parking garage.
I can go this way. This is the way. No, I want to take you this way.
Yeah, and so I was walking her back.
He had me like this, and at one point he had me like this, and I'm like, "What are you walking me through this place like I am a criminal?"
Yeah, and so I am a public safety officer at the hospital. So one of my fellow officers saw me walking Miriam, and the way I had her. And I didn't realize had her holding her like she was. And
I was like, Joe, you can let me go.
Like she was a suspect or something.
He was. The other safety officer got up, came to help.
Yeah, she was like, what's going on? And so I said, oh no, this is my wife. And so anyway, once we reached the vehicle in the parking deck, I grabbed her and I pulled her close to me to give her a kiss. Wait a minute, you may get in trouble. I said, what? Get in trouble? And so I gave
be kissing on duty.
And so I gave her like 3 or 4 big kisses on the cheek.
No, what was funny was the way he had me. Like, come on now.
I already talked about that part.
That was funny.
Anyway, I made sure I got my physical touch, my 3 kisses on the cheek and everything, even though it was a little funny.
That wasn't a little funny. That woman was concerned. That was hilarious.
Right. Okay, so let's go to the next clip. This is number 3.
If you're sleeping next to someone and still feel alone, I got newsflash, man. You don't have a partner. You got a roommate that you share bills and some silent dinners with. You're not in love. Quit fooling yourself. You're actually just comfortable in the disconnection you have. Because look at it this way. You don't talk. You don't touch. You just exist next to each other. Like 2 ghosts haunting the same house that house is built on used to be's and what ifs. You fake the laughs. You avoid the deep stuff. You have sex like you're checking off a to-do list. No intimacy, no spark, just noise in the dark, right? and you call that love. No, that's really survival. That's fear. That's emotional abandonment dressed up in a daily routine. Y'all need to stop normalizing numbness. Stop making excuses for connectionless love. Choose yourself for once in your life, or stay trapped in a prison you built with your own silence.
That's deep.
What you think about that?
I'll let you take that one over.
There's a lot of statements that he said that stood out to me. But when he said being comfortable with your disconnect and then normalizing your numbness, I was like, oh,
That's deep.
that's deep. That's deep, because I know that there are a lot of relationships that are going through the things that he described. Okay, you get used to the disconnect, that everything is normalized, and that's dangerous. When dysfunction becomes normalized, then you open up yourself to all types of trouble.
You do.
Okay, because when outside influences or people on the outside, they can look and they can see what's going on. They recognize, oh, this guy and his spouse, or this woman and her spouse, they're disconnected. You know, they don't have any spark in their relationship. People recognize that. People that want to prey on that, they recognize that, and they see that, oh, that's an opening. Okay, and so do not allow, your spark, the spark in your relationship, to dim,
Right.
or to diminish completely. Make sure that you always have a spark in that relationship. What you got to say, Miriam?
I agree.
Okay. All right. So let's listen to number 4.
Fellas, here's 4 ways to create intentional intimacy with your partner in your marriage. 1. Pray with, for, and over your wife daily. Praying has become our number 1 source of help for us. It's the best solution to help us minimize issues, attack burdens, and remove pride of any situation. See, we don't got all the answers. We're 2 imperfect people, but we want the best for our relationship, so we go to a perfect God. Make sure you pray for your spouse. 2, make sure that you're touching and kissing your spouse daily. Physical intimacy is imperative. We both have very strenuous professions. We can get so caught up in being productive in our own careers that we forget to actually be intimate with each other. A simple kiss or a hug keeps us connected. Make sure you're giving your spouse a daily kiss and a hug. 3, be concerned. Be intentional about asking about her day, her goals. And when you listen, don't always try to fix it. Listen with the intent to understand. Ask questions to provide clarity so you understand what she's trying to achieve. And if you listen close enough, she will be responsive to ask you your opinion as well. Make sure you're listening to her goals on purpose. 4, reassurance. Keep that spark. Don't assume your wife or spouse loves you. Make sure you're intentional about showing in word, in thought, and deed. On purpose, with purpose, in purpose.
Man, what you think about that one?
I think it's good.
You think we do a lot of those?
I think so, because I know, like, by the time you leave in the morning, I'm usually finished with my workout. I'm not with a client, and I'm just kind of sitting there vegging out, and you always come downstairs and you say, and I know over the last couple of months, I've made it a habit that if I come upstairs and Joe is doing something, I'll give him a kiss on the cheek, or if he's laying on the bed, I will bend down and give him a kiss. So, yeah, I get what he's saying.
Okay. All right, so this is our last one.
When a man wants to get married, he's only getting married truly for one reason. The men can work and provide for themselves. He does not necessarily need you to cook, clean, and have sex, because he can get sex from multiple women. A lot of them can cook and clean. Their mother taught them, or they can pay someone to get it. The culture is telling them these women do not get married. So why would a man go past what the culture is telling him and choose to have a wife? It's for one real simple reason. Because with a wife, you can now have love, You can now have nurturing, you can have support, you can have affection. This is what he can't get from a roommate. So if that is not what you're leading with your relationships with men, is love, support, nurturing, and respect, this is why your husband is now pulling away, because in the beginning you gave him those things. But as you got into the relationship, you got bitter, you got resentful, you start seeing his flaws, start counting that against him, you start measuring him against other men, and now you're pulling back on the love, the affection, and the nurturing.
What she said reminded me of something that my mama always said: what you did to get him, you got to do to keep him. So, y'all know, we've talked about our love language. His is physical touch, mine is acts of service. So Joe can't say,
What you going to say?
baby, you can't say that I was that in the beginning I was lovey-dovey, touchy.
No.
I've never been that. So I don't know what did I do to get him. But I've never been a lovey-dovey, touchy person, except to children. I am extremely affectionate to babies and to children, to the point where I think many times Joe used to get jealous, and probably still does, especially when Nugget comes home. And then in August, our daughter's and son-in-law's baby is born. It's going to be but no, what you did to get him, you got to do to keep him. And if you did those things, everything that he likes, if you did those things to get him, you're going to have to keep those things up, because he will go somewhere else looking for it. Mm-hmm. That's just a man.
Yeah. And for me, the biggest things that stood out to what she said was the nurturing and the respect.
Oh, and I nurture the heck out of him.
Yeah.
He can't. This is my 59, soon to be 60-year-old child. I take care of everything for him. Yeah, so he's spoiled in that way. No doubt about that.
Okay.
Oh, you got nothing to say about that? Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not even gonna say anything.
My friend Annette, you've heard about Annette Romo. Sometimes, well, I gotta go get so and so for Joe. I've got to go do this for Joe. She goes, you know that man is spoiled, right? And I go, yeah, but then so am I. He spoils me in his own way. So it is what it is, girl. It's how we roll.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she goes out of her way to take care of my needs, and I go out of my way to take care of her needs and the needs of our household.
Yeah,
our household. I mean, she'll go hard for me like I go hard for her, and that's the way that it should be.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
In
and we get on each other's nerves. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to think we're sitting around going la 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 la. No, he gets on my freaking nerves, and I know I get on his freaking nerves. Yeah, you get on my nerves, but I also know that I get on his nerves. But it doesn't change the fact that we take care of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and we really do enjoy quality time with each other. Especially when we do get to go on a vacation, and we just go off, and it's just the two of us. Mm-hmm. We enjoy time. I mean, simple stuff.
Simple things.
Yeah, we don't have to have anything extravagant.
Like 2024 when we just went away for one night. Mm-hmm. We just went away for one night and enjoyed one night away from home. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we love picking at each other, laughing, and just having a good time.
Yeah.
Just having a good time, and we both receive joy just from knowing that the other is happy and satisfied and content. Like when Miriam tells me something and I know that it's bothering her, I do my best in the natural to try to fill that gap. And she does the same thing for me. Okay? I don't think that there's a numbness in our relationship. I do believe that, okay, we may not have the most spark, as when I say we have all the sparks and this and that, but no, I think our relationship is healthy.
We're settled.
Yeah, we have a healthy amount of things. Things perfect? No, I don't think no relationship
is perfect.
Is perfect, but we try.
It works for us.
Yeah, it works for us, and we try to recognize when there's an issue and try to fix it together. Okay, and so this brings us to the end.
This is a short one today, y'all.
Yeah, of this episode, and I intentionally wanted to make it not as long, not an hour plus video. So I intentionally made it that way. And so if there was anything that benefited you in this episode, please like, share, and comment. We really look forward to your comments. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, go ahead on and subscribe to our channel, because Miriam and I, we are real people, and we value our communication, and we, like I said, we said before, this is a ministry for us, and so we want to be a benefit to people and not just try to put on a show.
And also, just like Melissa sent that video, send us your ideas, because as always, we listen to and read any comments and suggestions, all that kind of stuff. We do. We listen to it. We listen to it. Matter of fact, one of the things on this video streaming platform that Joe does, somebody said we were too real, which I thought was so stupid. But the sink was full of dishes. And Joe kept going, "Come on, Miriam, I'm ready." I said, "I got to clean the sink." We can't be too real.
All right, everyone. So until the next time.
Until the next time, y'all.
Have a blessed and prosperous day.
Bye-bye.